Greetings of peace, love, and happiness to everyone. Well, finally, we have been able to make it. A bit delayed because this happened to be a Father's Day special, but for whatever reasons we couldn't do it. We wanted to talk about our little experiences with our dad and those lifelong lessons in holistic wellness that we learned from our dads. So we can do it either in the form of poetry, story, anecdote, song, even a dance if that's it's that's good. Because at Chilparco International we believe in connections, we believe in communication, we believe in the power of collaboration, creation, and that's what we create: a beautiful space for everyone to share their uniqueness, their unstoppable quality, because sharing is caring. We empower by empowering others, we empower ourselves, and it does everyone loads of good. So everyone has that some unique, some special quality within them that they share with others. And if we are open to receiving, to learning, we're open to learning. Oh, I'm getting excited. It's all about lifelong learning. So if you're open to learning something new every day, which we do, and we learn, even though we've heard certain things 10,000 times before, a million zillion times before, yet, every day we're still learning something new, even from a little baby. I can say it because I have a little baby in my life these days, and I'm learning from the little baby as well. So, one learns, and I think it is that unique, unstoppable quality that makes each and every individual on planet Earth a beautiful human being, a beautiful soul. Imagine if all beautiful souls got together, what power they can give to planet Earth. And all these problems that we're having, I'm sure, we'll be able to handle them well, because that's what God wanted us to do: to connect, to communicate, to create, to collaborate, and not pass judgments on others, which is the easiest thing to do. We need to stop doing that at once. We need to learn, and we need to not just talk about certain things like we did in our last podcast. It's not about just talking, talking, talking. It's about walking what we're saying, walking the talk. That is so important. What we feel, what we have in our minds is what we should be saying. We believe in being real. That's why our Chilparco podcast is all about let's get real. It's about that unique power that we have within. And this is what we'll be doing today as well. We're going to be sharing tales about the wonderful times that we had with our fathers or father figures, mentors. And we will also be sharing that holistic wellness tip, because this month we have been focusing on holistic wellness at Chilparco International. We haven't been very regular with our podcast this time, but believe me, it will not happen again. And these kind of things keep on happening, but we're all connected. We're all connected because we believe in being connected from the heart. And we have these connections that we have formed on this platform are forever connections, are genuine connections. There is nothing fake about them. There is nothing artificial about them. So to all the beautiful people who have joined just now, thank you, thank you, thank you. A big gratitude. And we have the wonderful and the very beautiful and vivacious Martie Smith from the United States of America. Now, this one woman is a powerhouse of resilience. That's what she is. And she has carved a special niche for herself on planet Earth at an age when most people think, oh, I'm too old to do things. She did everything after 60, and she has made a mark. She's gotten an international award and many international awards. She's an international best-selling author. My God, she's one Wonder Woman, and she says, though I don't believe because I've met her in person, she says that she was very, very, I mean, she was like huge. I mean, when it comes to the body shape. But when I saw her, she was like, wow, she had this absolutely amazing, those curves, everything in place. And I thought to myself, what is she saying? That's what makes her one resilient woman. So to Martie, a big welcome.
Hey, hi.
And then, yeah, big welcome. And then we have the beautiful, beautiful Dr. Caroline, all the way from the beautiful Nagaland in India. And there's something so special about her. She's always full of gratitude. You just have to say one nice thing to her, and she will give you so many things as if, God knows what you have done. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about her. One nice line, and you get 10 beautiful lines in return. And, that makes me feel so special. You know what, Dr. Caroline, you make people feel so special. And I think that is your unique quality, that humility that you have in you, and that gratitude that you have in you, which is genuine, which comes from the heart. You are so full of it. You have dollops of it. And believe me, saying thank you or being nice to people also is not easy. It sounds easy, it looks easy. When we talk about it, it's easy, but it's very difficult. Sometimes, it's very difficult to be nice to people that you don't really like, because let's be honest, we don't like everyone on planet Earth, and we cannot, because we're human beings and we have our imperfections. But with Dr. Caroline, it's not like that. That is what makes her so sweet and wonderful. Plus, she's got a beautiful voice. And here she is, our core team member, Tenacity. Dr. Caroline, a big welcome to you. And yeah, I love that smile.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thanks for
thank you,
having me.
And she's been with us from the very beginning, ever since we started Chilparco International. She's been there with us. But yes, one more person. I mean, the day I started Chilparco International, the first thought that came to me was this powerful woman that I shared it with. And she said, yes, let's do it. And that gave me so much power, because if it weren't for her support, at times she's busy, she cannot be with us, but she's always there behind, supporting, encouraging. When she sees that, somehow I've been inactive, she always drops me a personal note saying, I hope everything is okay. And that again makes me feel special. You know, these are those bonds which, which, what do I say? They're priceless. They don't have a name to them, but they are priceless. She has been the biggest support of Chilparco International ever since we started the platform in 2021. She, and of course, Dr. Caroline, Ambassador Sheba, Ambassador Vyoma, and Ambassador Vyoma happens to be my student as well. So, we had a couple of Tenacity International editions, which came out totally because of her. And of course, Professor Khairuddin, our wonderful professor from Malaysia, and also my sister, the Professor Dr. Mehreen. So I would like to say a big thank you to all of you, and to Dhira. Thank you for being that support, that powerhouse of support, because this is your quality. You always give that wonderful support. You're always very encouraging. And I think that's what your students and the teachers that you educate, that you train, love about you. Because
Thank
if
you,
it
ma'am.
weren't for
Thank you.
that, yeah,
So
that's what
kind. You're
has
so
made you
kind. Thank you.
so wonderful. That's what has made you so wonderful. That's what has made you so unique and unstoppable. And look, here you are. And you're training people from all over the world now. I think that is what again makes you so unique.
Thank
Training
you.
students for English, and doing it for nothing. And I think not many people can do that. And so, Dhira, kudos to
Humbled and honored. Thank you for those kind words. Deeply mean the world to me. Thank you, Dr. Alka.
thank you, and a big welcome. And of course, all of you have also, I mean, you will also be hosting shows now that we're beginning them again. So, parenting shows from Dhira, holistic wellness shows from Martie, and we will have probably the Lounge the Rhythm from with Dr. Caroline. So, you got to be prepared now, all of you. I thought somebody was joining. Have you seen somebody joining?
Let's see the gallery. Just the
Is there
gallery.
someone?
No, there's just
Okay, so
four.
let's begin. So, all right. So, we are going to be talking about our superheroes, ATMs. I call them ATMs. Whenever you cannot say anything, or you want something, the first person that comes to your mind is this superhero of yours. You love to play with him, and you love to make the house messy with him because mom's not around. And I also feel that many times you want to try out certain experiments with him because, again, mom is not around. So you like to play while the cat is away, the mice will play, and those kind of things, these kind of fun things one does with dads and dad figures, because I remember also doing them with my granddad. And I think that is what makes this bond, of a father and a child so special. And And again, these are those priceless bonds which don't have a name attached to them. They're unconditional. Our fathers are always there for us whenever you need them. Father figures are always there. And I think even if my granddad is in the heavens above, I think he's still watching because he always wanted me to be using my voice. And I think I'm doing that. And I hope, if granddad, you're listening, and Dhira knows that because I started this page on his birthday. And that's why I told Dhira this, and Dhira said, "Yes, ma'am, you should start. You should." And that was the best part. Hi, Professor. Thanks for joining our strong pillar, Tenacity International. And like I said, we began Tenacity International with Dhira, Shiba, and Vyoma, Dr. Caroline, you, and Professor Mehereen. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have pushed it to this far. And now we have Martie joining us to take it to bigger heights, greater heights, grandiose heights. So I
Great.
think, yeah, so this is what
I apologize because I just saw on my phone. Oh my God, there is
okay. So
a
now,
webinar, so
Professor,
I'm
if
late.
you were here, if
Just
we were
starting,
here
just
in person,
starting.
we would have
Sorry,
we
sorry,
would
Dira.
we would have really,
No.
given you some kind of a okay for being late. You would have had yeah. But no. Thank you. Always thank you. But yes, now let's begin with Martie. So Martie, something about dad, what you learned from him, and a holistic wellness tip, because we're focusing on holistic wellness. You have used it in life, it has worked for you, and I'm sure it might work for someone who is needing it because we never know. There are people who need to hear something, and words have power, words have energy. Once you say it to someone, it can change their lives. So it's over to the beautiful Martie.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining and honoring the heroes. And I will be honest, I didn't have that connection with my father like you, Alka, but at the same time, now that looking back and after writing my book, I see that there were certain things I didn't ever recognize that he was teaching me. And one of them was perseverance, because we did move so many times, and we would never know the reason why he was moving, but now I see that he was always perseverant and driving himself to get through to the next place. And what it was is he had all this paranoia from when he was young, from the trauma he suffered, that I didn't know anything about till after he was gone or on his way out. And I was like, wow, so this is what he was suffering. He never expressed. He never was able to sit down and share anything that was going on. He always, was very depressed and never expressed joy. So I feel now that it's like, wow, if I had only spoken to him and he had spoken to me, we would have opened up to each other, because I think I suffered just as much as he did from all that, but I didn't know who to go to or who to ask, because, when you're a kid, you sit on your hands and you're quiet and you don't question anything. But I do appreciate that perseverance was passed on to me, that he was very, very driven, very disciplined. Very disciplined. Like, he would get up early in the morning, he'd go off to work. We'd never see him. He was always traveling. He'd come back, but he always had something to do that he knew he had to do, and he wouldn't go to sleep until he finished it. So I inherited that. Only I wished I would have thanked him for it, but in any case, I know he's blessing me from wherever he's at. Also, the wellness tip, and this goes to the heart, because I've learned from love that you can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. And that is a legacy that he left for me, that he was able to take all this ordinary stuff he was dealing with and somehow or another pass it on. Only we weren't capturing that beauty of the things he was leaving for a legacy. I'm taking it now and I'm going to town with it and sharing it with the world, because it is important to take love changes everything. You can't love and hate at the same time. You can't find the smallest little things to treasure if you don't have that feeling of love, because once you start discovering the the beauty, the miracle that life is, you start seeing and appreciating everything. You start getting a handful of gratitude, and you're like, wow, what am I complaining about? Life is good. That's what we need to look and say, hey, we're alive, we're survived, we've overcome, we've surpassed, and we've lived on. Whatever came our way, why do we keep, bogging ourselves down with the past instead of focusing on the now that we're still present and able to change that attitude? So that's my little wellness and an honor to my dad.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Thank
But yeah, it makes so much, it gives so much power. What you said, about love, it gives so much power. That's what we need. That's what we crave. And that's what I learned. Okay, let me just give this example since I'm so, these days mesmerized by the little angel in our lives. She was crying when she was with at my daughter's place. And when she came, my daughter called me and said that, I don't know why, but I think she's missing you and Papa. And I said, so, and then I didn't say, I said, well, do this, do that. I gave her some things to do, but it didn't work and probably didn't work. Suddenly I get a call, we're here, open the door. I went down the moment she saw me, and actually, she's not even 2 months yet. I just picked her up in my arms and I just did my those coochie poos and those love talk and those baby talk with her. And lo and behold, she wasn't crying. And my son-in-law and my daughter, they say, hey, she was like cranky at home. She stayed here for about 2.5 hours, and she was absolutely okay. I think love can work like magic. I said, well, you need to do that. You need to say nice things. These days, even a small baby needs those loving words. So I think love has the power to make one feel so good. So if it has that power, if it is like a miracle pill, why can't we use it so much? And Marty, you said it the way it should be. This is one powerful wellness tip, holistic wellness tip, that we need love. And I'm sure my beautiful sister, Professor Dr. Mehreen, has joined. She keeps on talking about love all the time and how love changes everyone, transforms the world. And I'm sure she couldn't agree more. Hello, my beautiful sister. It's so good to see you after ages. I hope you're feeling well.
Assalamu alaikum. And yes, hello everybody. Yes, I am much better,
Walaikum
healed well.
salam.
And it's so lovely to see all of you again. And hearing Martie now, I felt emotional for her and about her, and so many things came to the surface. I need to say that, I need to say that, and everything went down on paper. But what you just said now, Alka, is so profound. You know why? Because when you say they brought baby to your home and suddenly she was okay, it's purely because we don't even realize how important the energies are around us.
Yeah,
And
it's
this
energy. You said it.
Yes, it's the most soulful part of why the baby at her age is feeling that. So as soon as you left, she felt this energy shift. Like it's just something is missing, and I want that. So it's not so much the persona, I love you, and I know she loves you, but I mean it's the energy that was suddenly not there. There was this gap
Yeah,
there. I need the gap to be filled. And that's what
yeah,
we feel like Martin was saying about her dad. There's this gap they leave when they're not with us anymore. And that's
yeah.
what it's all about. And that love, that love is energy. It's about the
You're
energy.
so
We have
right.
energy among us, which is why we have this love connection. So it's all about energy. And yes, I loved everything. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's what it is. It's vibes. And I feel, the vibes that we have just now are so pure, are so genuine for one another. We just love being here together. So, I think it's, again, as you said, it's vibes, it's energy, and one can just feel it. You just feel it. There's no name, there's no how and why to it. There's no major rocket science behind it. It just comes from the heart. That's
What is
about
that?
it.
Love? Love? Love?
Yeah, the
Okay.
energy of love. Yes, yes, Professor. Yes, absolutely. But yes, let's talk to Dr. Caroline now. So, Dr. Caroline, your experiences with your dad from childhood or maybe your growing up years, and what is that special wellness tip that you learned, which came to you as a legacy, which you can share with all of us here today?
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes.
Perfectly,
Yes,
beautifully.
perfect.
Okay. I think I'm having a weak connectivity connection in here, so I cannot see any one of you. But as long as you can
Oh,
hear
we
me,
can see you. We can see you. Don't worry. We can
okay.
see you.
All right. Well, my dad, he's no more, but he did leave a certain legacy. That could be, that is, he actually left so many things. Respect every age group. It doesn't matter what age they are or they belong to. Maintain discipline. Yeah, discipline, respect, mind your manners. Yeah, there are actually so many things that reminds me of him, and resilience. He had lots of patience, which I realized after he left, that he had so much patience. And there has been so many speculations and so many things went on, but he was very patient man. I can refer to one of the stories. It's personal, but um, it's like this. My dad, he is one of the gaumburas of one of the places in here, which just got recognized as a district. So there's always a hate and love, hate and love between people, and a couple of misunderstandings that happens all the time as the head of the village. So, after, I mean, he exactly did not retire. He did retire from his job, but he was also working as a martial arts artist, and there are so many things. So he was also the head of that area, which is a district now. So there was this one time when he was blamed for blazing one of the orange trees, which he was unaware of it. And long story short, I'll just put it in a very small way. He he was called by one of the village chief, chairman, I guess, yeah. And like in our community, Angamis especially, we are known to be pretty wild in here. So uh, I think maybe around like a couple of hundreds of people actually came down. They're very people are educated, but still, then that trade is still out there. So he was asked to meet. He sent a messenger, and he came to see my dad and told him to come and meet the chairman. So him, along with my brothers and some of the workers, they went down to meet the chairman, thinking that he might be having some work. So when he went down there, cars from nowhere came, like some 200-300 of them came, and they actually insulted my dad so bad, and my brothers were shocked. Actually, he also wrote that. Now, they started insulting my dad. My dad, he's an international martial artist, and he also represented India on several occasions. Yeah. So this one guy came, heard that he's a wrestler or something. He said, "We thought while hearing your name, you have given us good names and blood laurels to our people and the country, but we thought you were a huge and a tall guy, but you are a petite, petite guy." So, well, there were so many things that were told to him, and so there were women and men and youths. I don't know. They were saying like, "Okay, we came here to kill him." It's interestingly. So we will do our job and we'll just leave, bash him and kill him and stuff. So my dad, he said, uh, and there were so many things actually said, but my dad said, you can do whatever you like, but there are going to be people behind me. So this one guy came again and said like, you're still gutsy, and you still have the guts to say things on our face. And now after all that incident, some lady, I think, relaxed the crowd, and there were things happened, and they left the site. In a couple of months, this guy, whoever was the messenger, actually, later they got to know that it was not my dad, because we also practice what is it? Shifting. We burned the forest. I don't know what is that.
Shifting cultivation.
Yes,
Shifting
yes.
agriculture.
Yeah.
Shifting
June
agriculture.
cultivation. Yeah.
Yeah, shifting agriculture.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
shifting
So
cultivation, they call it. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So during the time we burned the forest in here. So uh this what is it? Later they came to know that that fire was from another village, and it was not started by my dad, and because he was clueless as well. So just because of one orange tree, they came to kill my dad. So because my dad was the head of the village, and there are actually so many histories behind it. But uh, after a couple of months, this guy, whoever was the messenger, actually it was his work, and they were just trying to trap my dad and stuff. My dad said, I already knew it, and I have already forgiven you from that day that I was summoned and the situation happened. It escalated so bad, but still then, he was very patient. So I did went through, yeah, and for 2 to 3 months or more than that, my brothers had to accompany my dad to go up to there, because he was not safe. If he parked his car, his his shields would be smashed. So many things happened, but I'm glad that that story is told to me, and I was actually serving as a principal at Arunachal Pradesh when that incident happened. So I I I actually am very grateful for him, because he did not react in that situation, but he was very calm and very patient. So I guess that teaches a lot, and he
Absolutely.
yeah forgave that guy also, and then these people actually it's okay, it's fine, and then these people also realize their mistake, and I guess it's a good thing. I guess this should actually teach the people, like, not to react situations
Yeah.
without knowing, that's what happens all the time. You kill that person dies, and what is the point of regretting? It's not going to bring back that person. So it is always good to be patient, and people should also learn from such kind of incidents. So that's what I have to share about my dad. I guess he has taught a lot. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
It's so beautiful. And yes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Not only that, but learning to control your reactions is something one needs to actually mindfully master. It doesn't come naturally because we're human beings, so reactions can be very, very impulsive at times. But the way your father handled the situation, despite not being at fault, I think just talked volumes about the kind of person that he was. And again, you said that, he was gutsy. He didn't seem very big and huge, but, I think great things come in small packages. And I would just say kudos, and I would just say salute to your dad in the heavens. I'm sure he's very proud of you because the things that he left to you as a legacy, I think that's what has made you who you are, Dr. Caroline. Like, you talked about minding your manners. You talked about discipline. I know you that, whenever you come on the platform, you're here from the beginning to the end. That talks so much about discipline. And also, the fact that if you've said you'll be there, you are there. And then you always have those kind words to say. You're very humble about everything, despite being such a success yourself and despite having so many qualities yourself. And I think
Okay.
everyone on the platform are completely resonating with what I'm saying because everyone knows you so well. And would anyone want to add something? I see Professor nodding his head, so I'm going to ask Professor to say something. Yes, Professor, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry.
The
I
gentleman
apologize
in
for
the group.
joining late because I'm outstation. I'm my usual hideout in on the seaside. Now,
Oh, wow.
talking about
We have
that.
to visit you at the seaside. Yeah.
My late father taught me one thing, which I'm teaching my grandchildren now. You know what was
Okay.
it? He told me when he was alive. He says, "Don't take anything that is not yours. If you want anything, you ask for it." Especially, when he comes back from work, he will hang his pants onto the wall, and his wallet is inside there. He says, and he shows. You see, that is showed me his wallet is there. If you want money, you want anything, you ask. Don't take without asking. So that has been with me, okay, from then when I was, when I was a child until now, and I teach that to my grandchildren now. That's just what I wanted to share with all of you. Of course, there are a lot
Wow.
of
But
other
we're going
things.
to get back to you with even if you're humming a song, you and Dr. Caroline, both of you. So you please think about some song because when everybody finishes, we want to listen to some nice, lilting, melodious music. Yeah. But now I would also like to thank you for that because I think that's something very important. We need to teach our children how to ask for something and not
Yes,
just take
yes,
something
yes.
without asking because that makes a
Especially,
child, he
if
gets
it
into a
is
wrong
not yours.
habit,
Especially if
especially
it's
when
not
it's
yours.
not yours. Yes,
Yes,
yes. And then, this could lead on to other things like becoming a
yes,
kleptomaniac. And I think it's
exactly.
very important that we nip the evil in the bud. So, that's so very important. So thank you to that. And I would like to welcome Dr. Sarit Ghosh. After ages, he's come onto the platform. And I would like to welcome him. Thank you for joining us. So a big hello to you. But we will come back later to you for you sharing your experiences with your dad and also talking about a holistic wellness tip that you learned from him as a legacy and which you would like to share with all of us here. So now let's move on to Ambassador Dhira. So Dhira, I know I've met I haven't have I met your dad? No,
No,
I haven't met
he
your I've
passed
met your
away.
mom. I met your mom. Yes, I met your mom, and yes, I remember the situation when you lost him, and how you were, and the kind of brave, I would say, a brave girl you became, and the way you handled the situation. But I won't talk about it. I want you to share your thoughts and the holistic wellness legacy tip that he passed on to you and that you would like to share with us.
Thank you, Dr. Alka, for this wonderful opportunity. Listening to Marty ma'am, I can empathize, sympathize, and even I feel there's a lot of parallel stuff between what she said and what I am going to unfold. My father had a very tragic sort of life. First, it was the partition of the country, and his education was stalled. He wasn't highly educated. I don't think he passed his uh, matriculation, though he was very bright, extremely well read. But that pained him, not to have that degree. Because when he was in grade 10, I think partition took place. Marty ma'am, the country got divided into India and Pakistan. And their papers were sent to Lahore to be checked because it was one country before that. And they never came back. There was no result, nothing. Then his
Oh,
father passed away. His father was a courtier in the king's court, the last king of Kashmir. In his court, he was a courtier. And they had a lavish lifestyle. Lavish means fruit coming in tons, anything, not kgs, tons. And they had lands and they were lords and masters of a big chunk of land in Kashmir. And they were the people, the family, the family. When his father passed away and independence came and the partition came, in the 1950s, land ceiling was imposed. Land ceiling was an act passed by the government where all excess land was taken away from the courtiers, landowners, princely people, whatever. Everything was taken away except the little plot we had on which he built a hotel. Everything was taken away overnight. And my father never had a word of bitterness for anybody. Never. If I had been in his place, I would have blamed it on everybody and would have looked for sympathy, looked for pity. So he went through a lot in his life. After that land ceiling, losing that lavish means, after that lavish lifestyle, they were at the level of penure, they were, impoverished. And when they were impoverished, a lot of loans or money they'd taken from the other people, which they would have returned when they were lavish. It was going to be returned. Now they had no money to return. So they had about 50 court cases, 50 litigation situation, 50 lawsuits against them. And he had two sisters to marry off, a brother who chose to be a bachelor. So my father looked after the family. And his brother, he asked his brother to become a lawyer. He said, we can't fight all these court cases without somebody knowing law. My uncle didn't want to become a lawyer, but just to save the family, he became a lawyer. So to cut a long story short, he'd been through a lot. And he came from a time, where you had there were 4 siblings. You just grew up, So there's been no bonding between me and my father, no bonding at all, but respectful. And he did so much for me. He did amazing things for me, but no bonding. He could not play with me. He could not make me sit on his lap. The fatherly things. It just never happened. So, Martie ma'am, you say you can not love and hate a person at the same time. I can love and hate a person at the same time. Sometimes that hatred comes out so strong, especially when I'm looking at my husband, how he has been bringing up my children, our children. He's been the kind of dad I wanted. And my father was not that kind of, but he did so much for me that I'm so indebted. When that hatred comes, I feel guilty. I don't know. I must consult a psychologist how to deal with it. It comes on very strong. He never played with me. He didn't even know which grade I was in. And having saved the family, having gone through so much, and coming from a small town, he had a small town mentality, though he was exceptionally well read, exceptionally. He could talk about anything, wisely. Rocket science, anything, politics, Napoleon, Shakespeare. He could talk for hours together, talk sense. But he still had that small town mentality. He was full of himself. That was so irritating. So irritating. Dinner table conversation was, I do this, I went there, we did this, and we had a hotel. So it was nauseating. Now I can't bring the two worlds together. Sometimes one world comes up, sometimes the other. But then, as Sidney Sheldon said, forgive, but don't forget. So I've forgiven, but I don't wish to forget because I went through a lot. But let's see the flip side. My mom was my father, my mother, my everything. And my father did so much for me. In the 90s, I left a job and it was a bond of 70,000, which he paid just like that. Never scolded me, never asked me anything. If I wanted money, ask, it would come in piles, big bag of money. Dad, I just want 100 rupees. No, take 10,000. Take 5,000.
Wow. That's why I said dads are ATMs.
That's my story. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes I forgive him. Sometimes I move on. But he was a good human being deep down. Let's remember that. Thank you.
And that's what he made you, Dhira, and that's what you're sharing with
never
your
would give up.
beautiful
he
daughters.
never would give up. And I'm so much
Yes.
like him. I'm not like my mother at all. I'm so much like him,
Mm.
Any emergency, I'm the first one who responds. Any emergency, I'll never give up. I'll never give up. That I learned
Oh,
from my
yes,
father.
I know. Oh, yes. Even if there's some fire, she will not panic. She will
I
not go
won't. I've
hysterical.
been through a
I
fire,
would
I've
go
been through an
hysterical, but
earthquake,
not
I've
Dheera.
been through a flood, saving people, but
I
I
know.
don't give up. I just don't give
Yeah.
up. So
That's
thank
a
you, Dad.
beautiful part.
Thank you, ma'am.
That's just too beautiful and too touching and um so candid. I mean, it's
Thank you.
just
Thank you.
like the way you are. It's
Straight
just
from the
coming
heart.
from the heart. The way
I
you said
don't
that I
talk
can
about
love and
it, but
hate at the
today I
same
felt
time.
since Marty ma'am opened up, I said I should be candid. Otherwise, I don't talk about it. It's
I know,
something
I
in the
can
past.
understand. But this is the first time you told me this too.
I don't
You
talk.
told me so much about your dad. I knew that he was he could
He
talk
was
hours and
amazing.
hours
He
about
was a
Shakespeare
part.
and
He was a
Napoleon.
the life of a party, life of a it's
Yeah,
brilliant sense of humor. But there was no
yeah.
bonding. So part of life.
Yeah, yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
Please,
That's
please.
absolutely wonderful, beautiful, very well said. And I think we've learned a lot from that also, that, we can love and hate at the same. And, this is human. We're human after all. Let's not forget that. I mean, even so if we're being candid, we're not going to say nice things all the time. Things are going to be very, very different. And I will share something like that at the end, since all of you are, so I might as well also open up and share it. But yes, but before that, let's first talk to our lovely, beautiful sister, Professor Dr. Mehereed. So, sister, you're special. I know you are one person who has this powerful voice. You work for women, you work for children, you cannot tolerate injustice. You are a complete humanitarian. And the moment you see some kind of injustice happening anywhere, you'll be the first one to raise that voice, to make someone understand that they should not be tolerating injustice. Because if you are tolerating that, that's the way you're looking at your own self. I mean, don't you respect yourself? Don't you have self-worth? Don't you have self-esteem? If you don't have it, you're going to allow others to throw brickbats at you all the time and say all those nasty things. You won't let that happen. You will talk to them about it. And then the way you talk about emotional intelligence, wow, absolutely brilliant. And by the way, we still have that episode to do, on emotional intelligence. Yeah. I was waiting for you to get well. But today, about your dad and the lesson that you learned, the tenacious lesson that you learned from him.
Yeah, so thank you to everyone for sharing. And you know what? I'm really I won't say touched, I'm so enveloped in the fact that everyone is so true about what they're feeling. And my sister Dheera, you know what? You don't need a psychologist to deal with this anymore. You know why? Because the first step was what you did today. I opened up openly,
Opened up.
literally, publicly. So
Thank you.
did it.
Thank you.
So
Thank you, Dr.
well
Mary.
done, Marie.
Thank you.
So I salute every dad. Lots of dads sometimes get painted in different pictures. My dad, I'm an only child. That should tell you a lot already. So everything was, even if I sneezed, dad had a problem. He'd be in another corner of the home, but if Marian sneezed, dad will be there like, what's wrong with you? Nothing, dad, it was the flower. That's how he was. So I got very spoiled by my parents, both of them, but especially dad, not materialistically, but with attention, with love, and with time. And there are so many things when I think about my dad that I know he taught me about holistic well-being and whatever I am today. And I know what Alka said just now is exactly me. I literally go against a norm all the time. But that's purely because my dad stood against a norm all the time. He did. He fought when he married my mom. He fought when I had to decide what I wanted to study. It was going against the grain of what some family structures would say. He fought against every societal norm for belief in me as a person. And so I felt, and I believe totally, this is why I teach what I teach. If you firmly believe in you, and this is what he taught me, if I stay true to my creator and stay true to myself and my belief, then nothing is impossible. You can be in a road of 20 families where you all grew up together, and you will be the one girl that decides, I'm going to break the norm, I'm going to university, I'm going to study, and I'm going to do this, and no, I'm not getting married first. And he will take the flak, and he'll be, nope, my child wants to do this, I'm supporting her. And everybody had so many different things to say about what I was doing and how I was going to do it, and how he was, you can't do that, you're supposed to train her, she has to do this. He said, I did. She has belief. She is okay. I did train her. And so I did whatever I did. Lots of my choices were rebellious ones, but he stood by me, believing in me, regardless of what they were. And those same people who disregarded him commented negatively about me, about my mom, etc., for those choices that we were making as a family unit and my choices for life. When I qualified, or when I, came through them, or whatever the difficulties were, when those were done and dusted, then suddenly was, oh my, she grew up in front of me. I remember she was my neighbor. Do you remember? Yeah, this was her dad. I know her dad. I knew her dad so well. So now when they see a podcast like this, so they hear me on the radio, or they see me on TV, yeah, she grew up next to us. I remember she used to come and have tea with my mom. And now suddenly you do remember the young girl who you targeted when she was making those choices. So for me, now it's a laughing matter, but of course back then it was more serious.
You're
But
having the
dad taught
last
me so
laugh,
many things.
sister. You're having the last laugh.
So he taught me, just be you. Be
Yeah.
you, and be true to you, and be true to your creator, and everything else will just be what it has to be for you. Because you're going to have to go against the grain sometimes. You're going to have to fight for others sometimes. But ultimately, you end up fighting for you in the process. You just don't see it. So a lot of what I do is based on just that. Because, I think Martie spoke of it. Lots of us speak of the legacy of our dads, the legacies that we leave behind. And my father always felt that legacy is not about money. Legacy is not about status that I'm leaving for you to carry forward. Legacy is about who you are. And one day I said to him, what am I going to do to keep your name? Because I'm not your son. And so obviously, as we grew up in this culture where you're not going to do it. And he said to me, who taught you that you don't have to keep my name? Because nowhere in Islam does it say that. And then he said to me, you are my son and daughter in one. You know how to change a light bulb. You know how to change a tire. And you know how to cook your meal. You know how to take care of your home. So tell me, where have you not fitted yourself in? Why do you always create a gap when there isn't one?
Awesome.
So, dad taught me many, many things. But he
Mm.
always said, just be true to you. Just be true to you, because then you have your creator in you. And it's not about religion. It's about who you are in depth, no matter what religion you are in, no matter where you are in the world. I just always say to everybody, find you and then believe in you. Find you and learn new things and unlearn some stuff and then relearn new stuff. And that's just the whole beauty of life as a journey that it has to be for you. And my father was that in his journey. And when I lost him, I honestly, okay, I'm not going to tear, I promise I won't. I honestly felt that everything crumbled when I lost dad, And then for the first few months, I went to like a small-time depression. Yes, all of us empowered people are human. At the end of the day, everybody needs to remember that. So I went into my own small-time depression. I went into the tearful days on end, and how am I going to function, and how am I going to do this? And everything was dad and dad and dad. And when people would speak to me, they'd speak to me about your loss of your dad. And I would go and say, yeah, but I lost my dad. And Alka, okay, and everybody here, there's something I learned in that time. And that was the one word I kept using every day, day in and day out, about my father, which I had to change, is that loss. I kept saying, I lost dad. And everyone kept saying, the loss of your dad. I never lost my dad. It's what I gained from my dad. What are the gains from my father? What are those profits from my father? What did I gain from him? I never lost a thing. He was here for his appointed time frame. His purpose was fulfilled. He then had to leave for something better that was waiting for him. So what have I gained from that? So I say to everybody who's grieving, you never lost anyone. What have you gained from them and the time you spent with them? And in Dira's, with Sister Dira's example, there may be that harshness and I didn't have the bond, but you know what? You had dad. You still have dad inculcated inside you. So somehow the legacy is living on. The bond is now with yourself, So there's so much to still take away from there that's positive. So I never lost dad. I still have him and I gained a lot from him. And I hope to keep going with this legacy of Mia as his surname. That's going to just keep going, So, okay, I'm not going to get emotional anymore. But, all of us really, we have this dad. Dad is a superhero. Dad is everything. But I know from myself as a single mom for like 14, 15 years now, that being the mom and dad in one is not so easy. So when we talk of dad, I still salute every woman who's trying to be the dad too. And it's not simple. So for you dads who are really there, I salute you, I respect you, and I really say that we need to reach out to more dads to be there for their kids. Thank you so much, Alka. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for the somber moment, but yeah, thanks.
No. But again, I don't think there's anything to say to that other than, um, this is a bond that you can just feel from the heart, as you said. And this, what you just now shared with us, there's no loss. You're right. It's the way we change the way, the way the words are used. We need to train ourselves mindfully to do that. But, mindlessly we use words just because the sound, just because it's the norm of the day. We just, like you said, when you do something which is different, you're termed as a rebel. And then you start wondering, am I not from this world? Am I not from planet Earth? Am I some alien? Because this has happened with me so many times. People have
Yeah,
thought that I've gone bonkers, because
I
you
know
think
that.
differently. Because you think
Yeah.
differently and because you do things differently. But if you have the guts to do things differently, like your dad taught you, and you are doing it, look at you now. Everyone's talking about you. That's the thing, when one becomes successful, you have the world talking about you. Oh yeah, I knew that girl. Oh, she's used to stay just next door. Oh, her mother used to come home and have tea with my mom. Oh, her dad used to hang out with my dad. So these kind of things happen all the time, and this is human nature. But then the point is, this powerful legacy that you've learned from your dad, not to give up, to, if you believe in something, just go ahead and do it. It may not be something which is a common trend, but you don't need to do things that are already being done by thousands of people. I would again say Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. So go ahead, be courageous, go ahead and do it like you're doing. And wow, just go on. And yes, I know how one can feel, because one does get misty eyed, but that's our love. That's our love coming. And then you realize that he wasn't, and even if we've had those bittersweet memories with him, for some of us, not all, um, then you realize that, yeah, at least, he's there and he cares for you, because my dad is still here with me, and now I realize that I still have him, and this is a prized possession. And so when he calls 10,000 times, I'll tell him, Papa, why are you calling again and again? I mean, if I haven't picked up the phone once, then I realize, when I heard all of you, that that's something very mean. I mean, I think I'm mean. I should just at least drop a message, because he's very, tech savvy. And, at his age, he's touching 90. At his age, he still,
Wow.
he looks at my message and he'll feel good. So now I realize that if he's calling me again and again and again and again, it's just that he wants to know whether everything is fine. And now that he has a great, great granddaughter, the fact that he came home, he put her over his chest. He said, you've given me a blessing, a prized possession, that now I feel my life is absolutely complete. So then I've realized that, we sometimes ignore these little things, and we just take our relationships for granted. Let's not do that. If I still have him, I should be thankful to God Almighty. There has to be a reason in his being in my life still, and I'm so glad for that, because I know not many of my friends have their dads, but I do. And since I do, I would like to say that in front of all of you, that now, if he calls me 10,000 times, even in the middle of a session that we're having, I'll still pick up the phone and say, Papa, I'll call you in a while. But I won't let him keep on doing it and getting, you weren't picking up the phone. What happened? Don't you know that I get scared. I think this is normal. So even though he has a grown-up daughter who is herself a mother-in-law as well as a grandmom, he feels that I'm still tiny. We forget that. For our parents, we're always going to be a baby, no matter how old we are. So whether we're in our 30s, fourth decade, fifth decade, sixth decade, or even seventh decade, we will still be a baby in front of our parents. So,
Yeah.
gosh, love you all, and amazing. But yeah, we still have our wonderful principal, Sarit Ghosh. So, Principal Sarit Ghosh, first of all, a big thank you for joining us today, finally, after a long time. And it's wonderful to see you. And he's a wonderful principal, he's quite a tenacious principal. He keeps on traveling all the time, and, empowering people, empowering students, empowering educators. And I think that's his USP. So for him, distance does not matter. Even if I call him, I'm sure he'll be here. He'll never say no. That is his uniqueness. And for that, I salute you. But yes, now we would like to listen to you about your tales, about your experiences, your memories with your dad. Oh, what happened? We lost you. And that tenacious holistic wellness tip that you would like to share with us.
Good evening, everyone. Is my voice there coming?
Very good. Very
Okay.
good. Fine.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry that I could not attend many of the sessions because I was busy. As ma'am said, I am associated with certain universities also nowadays. So
Yeah.
I keep on traveling a lot. I was in Chandigarh, Delhi. So suddenly I'm so happy to be here. Actually, I'm nowhere near my dad. He was a very big doctor. And actually, he came from Bangladesh, which is Bangladesh today, from a middle class family. But as everybody said, during partition, he lost his parents and everything which he had. So he came down to Kolkata as a refugee, but his mama, maternal uncle, took care of him. He topped in his 10th exam, and then he got into Calcutta Medical College, which was the best medical college in Eastern India. And then he did his MBBS. He tells all this because I heard from him. He was from the 1959 MBBS batch. I've seen all those black and white photographs of his. And then he joined a public sector company called Fertilizer Corporation of India and was posted in Punjab. A Bengali boy who knew nothing about Punjab, he was posted there. He did well there, and then he did his post-graduation, his MS from PGI Chandigarh. And right throughout his career, he was a very loving and caring doctor. So he wanted in his heart of hearts that I should also become a doctor. Every father wants that to be. But I was not much interested in science subjects. I was very good in English and social studies and all that. So I was a good speaker right from my childhood. He appreciated it. And when I told him that after my 12th, I want to go to Delhi University to do history honors, he was a bit upset, but then he accepted it and he said, you are going to the best university and you are going to a very good college, Kirodimal College. So my neighbors were a bit skeptical कि ये arts कर रहा है. Then they realized that Delhi University से arts करना भी बहुत बड़ी बात है. And so he was always helpful towards the poor people. Doctors get a lot of these samples, free samples and all that. A very honest doctor, did whatever, but he had a habit of smoking. So at the age of 48, he had his first heart attack. But miraculously, he got over it. That time I was just in second year of college, so it would have been very difficult. I have two sisters. One is now staying in United States. So she had to be married. Now she's married to a mariner. And the younger one is in Pune. So the family was not settled, but he retired in 1960. At the age of 60. And then he started helping the poor in Vivekanand Hospital here in Lucknow, right? So, and I was busy with my principalship in different places, the country. In 2012, he called me one day, which he never did. And he said, you just come home. I'm not feeling well. So I understood something is wrong. I took the next train and came here. By the time I came, he was hospitalized. And there I could see that he was sinking. So I told the doctors, last time he recovered, why is he not recovering this time? They told, Sarit, his heart is giving up. So I lost my father. I was also devastated. Though I was already in my 40s. But when you lose your father at whichever age, you feel so bad about it. And one good thing he told that by that time I had my son, Saraswat, who is now an engineer in Mercedes-Benz. So he told that
Dr. Preeti,
hello.
you need to.
Hello.
Thank you. Yeah. Now it's fine.
Okay. So he passed away, and but I tried to be like him. People say a lot of qualities I have inherited from him, but I would like to help people more as a. So I keep on traveling all over India and try to motivate people, children who are again a bit depressed or they don't know how to go about in life. I try to help them in whatever small way I can. So if whenever somebody invites me, I'm always there to help them, right? And another 6 years of service I have. So I'm sure I'll be able to help much more people in the country. I'm
You
a
can still
doctor.
continue after that. There is
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
age for
I have a lot of
retirement.
offers
Yeah.
also.
When
Because I'll
Marty can do it at 60, why can't
60,
you?
yeah, I'll go on till 60. अभी 10 साल और काम करेगा आराम से.
Bilkul.
So
That's what he said was that he still has 10 years to go before he retire, but he should never retire. That's what we're
I
trying
will
to
not,
tell.
people will not allow me to retire.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Some
Yes, yes.
universities have been very kind to offer me a job of a dean even now. I said, let me be a school principal. After that, I will see what I will do. I will do something with education always. And thank you, ma'am, for inviting me. And it is
No.
so nostalgic to be back and meet such great
Absolutely. We
people.
would like to see you more often over here
Sure,
because
sure. Whenever
you
I'm free,
used to
I'll
be
call you
very
back.
regular initially, but then
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah.
along the
Be very
line,
regular with you. And
yes,
because
I
of
mean,
you
we
also, I
miss
got a
that
lot of.
because you're such a good speaker and we don't
Yeah.
want to, miss hearing your powerful words because, that like we say, we learn from one another. We learn from everyone's uniqueness
I
and we
learned
miss
from everybody
we
here
miss it
today.
from you. Yeah. So it
Great
was
being
so
here,
good
ma'am.
to
Thank you for listening, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you for sharing that wonderful episode. And I felt that Dr. Preeti had joined us, but I don't know, she probably got disconnected. But here I would like to also tell you before I ask our professor and Dr. Caroline is still there to, maybe hum a few lines, even minus the guitar will work. It's no problem because I know you're at the seaside, so you can still hum the guitar, and you can sing any song because anything you sing mesmerizes us. But I would like to tell you that, because Dhira mentioned partition in India. So it was a similar situation for my father because they were from Pakistan, Pakistan originally, when it was Pakistan and India were one. So, they had this again, they were the chief, his father was the chief of their village, and they had this huge mansion. And, they had it was like that, those kind of like very kingly kind of a thing. But because of the partition, they had to just leave everything behind, and they had to start their life from scratch when they came to Delhi. And I remember my father telling me that, my father was in the Indian Foreign Service. That's how I was born in China. That was my father's first posting. And then I started my education in the United States of America, in New York, because that was his second posting. I traveled all over the world because of him, because of his job. And but how he made it, he tells me that he had nothing. He just had this small room, and there was no electricity, and there was some light that used to come, through those little holes in the wall. How he studied, how he did it, how his father managed. Life was very, very tough in those times because they had to do everything from scratch. But then, my father was posted as an IFS officer. He was posted again to Islamabad, which is in Pakistan. And while he was there, we all went and visited my father's original home, which was still there. But of course, there were some people. We never told them who we were, but we just said we wanted to see the home and all that. We could just take a little sneak peek of the home. So that was a good memory. But there are so many things that you learn, how to keep those precious bonds alive, how to not give up, like all of you have said, because when you have to leave a place and start life afresh in another place, and you have nothing with you, not a single penny, life can be tough. And he told me that there were 5 brothers and sisters, so he was the eldest. And I had 3 aunts, and I have one more uncle who's still there. I've lost my aunts, but my uncle is there still. He's the youngest. but he also is not in very good health. But my dad and him are still, like they try to, keep themselves very, very active. If you see him, you won't think that he's touching 90. He still looks like somewhere in 70s, so he doesn't really look 90. And I think that's what we learn to love life. He says, I'm like a tiger, I can bounce back. uh, the heart attacks and those kind of little things don't really bother. So I think those are the things that keep one going. And again, from my granddad, I can't thank him enough. He was more like a father to me in my growing years. I spent my college life with my granddad, and if I am what I am today, it's because of his training. He said that you have this wonderful voice, wonderful voice, as in you can reach out to people with your voice. And he ensured, and he was always after me, that you have to top the university. And I think I was able to top the university all throughout my college life and my post graduation because of his. Because I was think to myself, if I don't top, my granddad's going to tell me. And he used to call me Alk Nandini. He had this crazy name for me, but I still love it. And that's why, in some places I still call myself Nandini, which many of you don't know, but that's what he used to call me. And he used to say, and he always used to say, that one needs to, if one has some kind of a talent, you need to use it well. Don't keep it within yourself. Take it out and encourage others also to bring out their talents, because, sometimes talents just go waste. You have a talent, but you don't really use it. And I think we need to remember that. So I think all these things that you shared today about dads has empowered us so much, and has actually made us open up and talk things which probably we never said about our dads before, about our granddads, who were like in my case, a father figure in my life. And we had Principal Sarit Ghosh joining us today after ages. I think that was wonderful. But yes, it's time now to hear a lovely song from first Dr. Caroline and then our wonderful professor. So it's over to you two. And I will let my sister Mehreen, ask them to go ahead.
Okay, who's
No,
going to
if
start
they're
first?
gonna sing Papa Keh De, it's all the better for me.
Who's going to start first? Caroline,
Yeah,
you're going to start first?
you why don't you start first? And we need to hear
Okay.
your story
Okay,
first, I
okay.
guess.
Mine is very short, very quick.
Yeah.
I am going to convert a Willie Nelson song,
Okay.
always on my mind. I will convert it as a tribute to all the dads all over the world. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, Dad, I'm sorry I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. And I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. That's my tribute to all dads all over the world.
Wow. Loved it. Loved it. All of us
Beautiful,
loved it.
beautiful. Lovely song and
Awesome.
beautiful,
And he's got
Professor.
a
Thank you.
lovely voice, no
Thank
doubts
you,
about it.
Dira. Thank you,
Professor,
Dira.
a very beautiful voice. Well, Dr. Caroline, it's you now.
Yours.
I really don't know what to say.
I love her. She's so, I don't know. Maybe someone can suggest some song to her. Martie? Can you suggest some song?
Martie, you are muted.
Maybe just even if it's an inspirational song, or maybe it's a fun song.
Okay, I will sing this thing. You are my sunshine then.
Oh wow, perfect,
Okay.
perfect,
Okay,
perfect.
okay, perfect. Excellent. Excellent companion to always on my mind.
All right. Let's hear this. Let's all sing together, if you know.
Okay.
You are my sunshine, my only
Sunshine.
sunshine. You make me happy. Skies are gray.
Gray.
You never know, dear, how much I love you.
Don't take my
Don't take my
sunshine away.
The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, and dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken. So I hung my head and cried. You are my sunshine, my
My
only
only
sunshine.
sunshine.
You
You
make me happy when skies are gray. But know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. I guess that is it.
Wow, what a beautiful way. Does anyone else sing? Sister Marine, I never asked you, but I think you'll surprise us today.
Yeah.
I sing with everybody, but I know this song. I saw Alka's eyes closed for a second, and she thought of her granddaughter. I just know that.
Oh yeah, because I generally sing, and there's something about her. I keep on calling her my baby angel. So there's this song, but it just says "You're my baby angel." I keep on saying it. So whenever I start humming it to her, she starts giving that very beautiful smile. And next time when she's here, I'm going to really bring her over here and show you. She's so and she loves the camera. I tell you, she just loves it. She knows that she's being recorded. She knows that we're making a video. She'll look into the camera. She'll
How
actually look into the
sweet, how
camera.
sweet.
Oh gosh.
In those
Oh,
days, when I was young, we call that vein.
oh,
but today, the youngsters, the Gen Zs, they call it differently.
oh yes. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Things have changed.
They interpret it.
But
They
I think there are
interpret.
some things which will never go out of fashion, which is
Yes,
love.
yes.
If you just hold the child and just start saying those sweet nothings to the child, I
Mm,
think the child just understands a very pure form, very pure
yes,
and very serene. They understand those vibes, those energy, like
absolutely,
sister said. So they'll just
absolutely.
understand the genuineness and they'll just respond accordingly. Like we respond, sometimes we go to a certain place or we meet someone and we say, I just felt like running away from there. And sometimes we say, I just wanted to go on talking and talking and talking because we just loved being there because of the vibes. So I think it's all vibes, it's all energy, and that's what we all are over here, a powerhouse of positivity, a powerhouse of sunshine, a powerhouse of resilience, right, Marty? A powerhouse of perseverance, a powerhouse of love, a powerhouse of the never say die spirit, a powerhouse of honesty, a powerhouse of love, 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 love.
Tenacity,
So I'll
powerhouse
just
of
say,
tenacity.
yeah, tenacity, wit, grit. We cannot let go of those terms. Remember, you're unique, you're unstoppable, unbeatable. You are timelessly tenacious. So keep staying healthy, happy, Stay happy, stay beautiful, stay blissful, stay bountiful, and stay blessed forever and ever and ever. And also praying for everyone on planet Earth the same, that everyone be happy, everyone be healthy, everyone just spread love and positivity. We need more of that. We don't need wars, we don't need hatred. We just need love, we just need positivity, we just need sanguinity. We just need to enhance and uplift one another with our own uniqueness. That's what we need. And hopefully, that's what we are trying to do, little in our humble little way. So, thank you
Absolutely.
to each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful anecdotes, wonderful stories, wonderful sharings, and great life lessons, holistic wellness. Thank you so much for sharing those powerful tips. And yes, thank you for those deliciously mesmerizing songs, the Professor and Dr. Caroline. What a beautiful way to end our program today. And with the hope that the next program, whenever we have it, hopefully soon, um, we will have the same kind of energy, the same kind of tenacity, the same kind of wit, the same kind of grit, and the same kind of unique, unstoppable spirit is what we bring, so that, we can empower not only us, but also everyone who listens and hears this podcast. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love to all of you.
Thank you,
Take
Dr.
good care of
Alka. Thanks,
yourselves.
Thank you,
And
everyone.
Dr.
Thank
yes,
Alka.
you.
you all know that you're going to be honored. So, do I say them quickly, or do you want to be surprised? And please, everyone, do follow, do like, do share. Go to the page and our page, and do like, share, follow. And if you haven't up till now, and all your wonderful honors, because you all deserve them. And also, some of you will get the gratitude honors because you have been stood by thick and thin through our 3+ years now. And we hope to continue doing this, and we hope to continue transforming lives. We have special, wonderful people with us, a resilient individual, a beautiful soul who truly deserve the resilience honor, a tenacious honor, an academic honor, a humble humility honor, an educational, I don't know what I mean, all those honors are in front of me, but do stay tuned. They'll all be uploaded or in 2-3 days, because I'll be traveling for 2 days, so I'll get it done once I'm back. So by the weekend or early Monday maximum, they'll be there. But in the meantime, I will share this broadcast. You can share because it's also on the page, as well as it will be on YouTube. So you can share wherever you like it, because the more people hear about this holistic wellness which we're trying to spread, this chain of positivity through holistic wellness, I think people need more of it. It may sound, I mean, it's taken for granted, but this is what people need more than anything. And it's said that these days it's not about English, history, chemistry, mathematics, physics, biology, and all that. It's more about skills. It's more about sustainability. It's more about these virtues, these values. It's more about love. It's more about positivity. So we need to learn more of this, spread more of this in our unique way. So let's do it, and let's keep spreading smiles, spreading happiness, and our little bit of an endeavor in making planet Earth a beautiful place. So thank you once again to all of you wonderful, tenacious icons. I salute you. We salute you. And just continue doing what you're doing tirelessly in your beautiful, blissful way. And bye-bye. Take care
Thank
of
you.
yourselves. And
Dr.
everyone,
Caroline, you were
watch your-
awesome.
Bye-bye.
Absolutely awesome.
Bye.
Professor and Dr.
Always.
Caroline, you're singing
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you, Dira. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Good
everyone.
night.
And everyone
Goodbye.
who
Good luck.
watches the
Bye.
podcast, please do
Yes.
drop in your comments and tell us which holistic wellness tip uh, will be something that you need to do for yourself. It will be nice to know that. So thank you so much, and bye-bye. Good night. Good
Bye.
evening.
Good
Good
night.
morning.
Good luck. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye. Stay happy.
Enjoyed
Stay
it.
blessed. Hasta mañana till we meet again. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Lots of love. Bye-bye, Prof. Bye, Sister Marine. Bye, Martie. Thank you. Thank you, Sister. Mwah, mwah.